What's going on, everyone? Aaron Tremblay here, and today we're covering a topic that you might not think is super thrilling, but man, is it important. We're talking about organizing, archiving, and backing up your digital assets. Let's go. All right, quick heart-to-heart before we start. That rhyme. If you are not backing up your footage, photos, digital assets, then stop this video right now and go flip and back up your data. Well, actually, this video will help give you an idea how to organize your backups and back everything up, and so maybe don't stop right now. Watch these tips here and then go back up your data. Quick story, I used to work in a very recognizable IT position in a very large technology company, which I won't mention here. And I sadly saw way too many priceless memories lost because of a failed hard drive. Pro tip, all hard drives or data storage will fail at some point. Let me say that again. All hard drives or data storage will fail at some point. This means spinning hard drives, solid state drives, flash drives, SD cards, you name it. If it stores data, it will fail at some point. We just don't know when or where. So please make redundant copies now before it's too late. Okay, I'm glad to have gotten that off my chest. Just a quick note, this is what works for me and my personal data and for my professional work. This exact setup may not cover everything you do, but it's a great start and might give you an idea on how to set up your system. There's a ton of options out there. I just hope this leads you to your ideal setup. Now let's dive into my setup. First, I'll show you my folder structure. Note, I'm a Mac user, but the folder structure should work no matter what platform you work with. Let's start by creating a folder and calling it Archive. Inside that main archive folder, I create another folder with the year, in this case, 2020. Inside that 2020 folder, I create a folder for each month of the year and name it 01 January and 02 February and so on. Now, inside of the 01 January folder, I create another folder with the project name. So for the sake of this, let's call this one Archive System YouTube. Then you'll see on my desktop, the only folder I have is called Project Template. And inside this folder, I have set up a master template for my individual project organization. You'll notice in this folder, there is Photo Edit Project, September 3, and other dates, and Video Edit Project inside of each one of these folders. And I have some further breakdowns. So let's start with the dated folders. We'll go ahead and change that one to January 5. Inside January 5, I have a folder for camera model and roll, and I'll change this one because I like to keep my footage and/or photos organized by camera type. This comes into play later when editing because I can mark all footage by camera so I can easily apply edits equal across a camera model. It saves a lot of time if you have an edit where you need to match several cameras to each other. It can also help me identify which was camera A, camera B, time lapses, etc. Then inside that camera folder, I break it down by photos and video. This way, when I import into Lightroom or into Premiere, I can differentiate the media types easily and import only photo or video. Let me expand this window quick so you can see the full breakdown. Inside the photo folder, I have folders for final edits, full size, which just means an uncropped full edited export, Instagram, which typically is a vertical 4x5 cropped version, and then raw, which of course is for the raw imports. Now, one quick thing to mention is you could actually drop all of your raw photos and final versions into the master photo edit project folder. This just depends on your preference for your current project. Maybe you only want separate raw files by camera, then have all the finals in one spot. That's a good option too. The point is to make it your own. All right, now for the video folder. Inside there, I have two folders, but I don't necessarily always use both. Now that I think of it, I import in lots of different formats, so let's call it import instead. Then I have a ProRes folder for, you guessed it, ProRes converted footage. Oftentimes, especially when shooting 4K on a 5D Mark IV or EOS R, and even when shooting RAW on a C200, I'll convert that footage to ProRes 422 or ProRes 422 HQ, just depending on how much quality I want to maintain. Usually, ProRes 422 is more than enough. Okay, back up a couple of levels to the Photo Edit Project folder. Here is where I will create a new Lightroom catalog for each project. Again, this is just to allow me to bring everything from that project with me to any computer that's running Adobe Creative Cloud. It's designed to save my butt, essentially, and my deadline. If my computer goes down for any reason, I can use any computer and take this whole project with me. Now for the big one, the Video Edit Project folder. This is where everything lives for my video project. And inside some of these folders, I've already copied over some things that I use regularly. You'll see audio, drafts, finals, graphics, Images, that's for any actual images used in the video that aren't necessarily graphics. LUTs, both corrective and creative. Music, Premiere Library, sound effects, thumbnails, and titles. I'll add folders as needed if I'm using elements outside of those, but it's more rare. This means that any, and I mean any assets that I use inside that video project, I copy into these folders before copying them into my project. It makes transferring projects between computers so easy and also allows a very efficient archive and backup system that allows me to go back to find old projects or videos. Whew. Wasn't that thrilling? Again, my entire goal with organizing all digital assets inside their project folder is so that I can copy this folder to any computer running Adobe Creative Cloud and edit or even export that project. I also typically keep my current project on an external solid-state drive and edit off that drive. Then once I'm completely done with that project, I transfer it off from the external solid-state drive and onto my large external archive storage. But keep in mind, this will work no matter where you store and use your data. I also use a couple other methods of archiving and backing up all these projects, and I'll get into that in my next video. I'll show you how I back everything up. I'll break down all the devices and services I use to just make sure I have redundant copies of my data. I really hope this video has been helpful to you and inspires you to get organized. Your future self will definitely thank you. What parts seem most helpful to you? What might I have left out? Do you have a super awesome archiving system I should know about? Please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your setup. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Share it with someone that you think might need it. Maybe they need help organizing, and also subscribe so that you'll see my future videos. Man, 2020 is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see you on the next video. See ya.